We go out into the community and we find others who are unlawfully here, we are going to arrest them. We've been completely transparent with that. He's 18 years old, he's unlawfully in this country. And unfortunately, we had to go to Milford to look for someone else, and we came across him, and he was arrested. That's where that stands.
You're looking for someone dangerous and violent?
Well, I'll take that one. So we're looking for his father. So obviously he's the father of the year because brought his son up here illegally as well. And yes, we had intelligence from a local law enforcement agency. We were looking for the father. And like Field Officer Director High said, they made a traffic stop on that vehicle, which was the father's vehicle. He was driving that vehicle. But like any local law enforcement officer, if you encounter someone that has a warrant, or like I said, is here illegally, we will take action on that. We're doing the job that ICE should have been doing all along. And then we enforce all immigration laws.
What's the
So
danger on his father?
what is
What's the
dangerous
danger on his
about a
father?
high school junior? He was about to play in the graduation ceremony, playing the band the next day. I guess what is the danger of the 18-year-old to that community?
So I'll put it back on you. What about an 18-year-old who's just stopped for a traffic violation by Mass State Police, who's wanted to be a habitual traffic offender on his way to graduation? Would you be asking that same question to the Mass State Police for not arresting him? Like, I didn't say he was dangerous. I said he's in this country illegally, and we're not going to walk away from anybody.
So where is he? Is he having due process? Does he have a lawyer?
Yeah, well, the whole due process thing, ICE doesn't just scoop people off the street and remove them. Everyone gets due process, and that is what the U.S. Attorney's Office for. It's what the immigration courts are for. They all do that. He will go in front of an immigration judge. He'll have the opportunity to post bond. But again, I'm just going to ask you a question. Boston Police stopped an 18-year-old on the way to high school. Are we having this conversation right now?
There would be a crime. There would be some evidence.
It happens every day. Every day. There are multiple 18-year-olds arrested, but yet we are focused on this one. And I will say, his dad hasn't turned himself in yet, and his dad knows he's the target of it. So.
What's his dad targeted for? What's his dad targeted for?
Sorry, the other question. So the governor says Massachusetts is not a sanctuary state, but your teams don't receive assistance when you hit like all these different counties across, not just in Boston, but in these other suburbs and places across the state. So what's your response to the governor on that, and how difficult is it for your teams to not get that assistance? Like when you went to Operation Tidal Wave in Florida, it's a different scenario. You come to Boston, it seems like it's a little bit more difficult.
I think it's a matter of semantics, right? We can say we're not a sanctuary state, but when people are arrested for local charges, drug traffickers who are peddling poison in our communities are walking out the door, not turned over to ICE, what does that sound like to all of you? That's sanctuary. When states and local jurisdictions don't cooperate with ICE and they let bad actors walk out into the community, they let child rapists just walk back out, $500 bail, that is sanctuary. So it's fine to say that you're not, but your actions absolutely show something different.
I have a
As for
follow-up
the
on that.
search operation,
U.S. Supreme Court last week halted a ruling out of Boston blocked the administration of relocating immigration for all of about half a million migrants. And a couple weeks earlier, the Supreme Court also allowed the administration of Venezuela. We talked about they said ICE is now the rest of the people covered by those programs.
Well, in that case, I would refer you over to Citizen Immigration Services. They handle that. ICE is only the enforcement arm of the immigration process. So I can just say that anyone that does no longer has protective status would be in this country illegally, and ICE would take an enforcement action.
as for the search, can you tell me more about the search operation here and exactly, what are the officers, where are the officers coming from to try to help in terms of resources? Are these actual ICE agents or officers, or are they being contracted outside of the agency? And also, how do you know that they're properly vetted here to conduct and follow the same law?
So what I can tell you is no one's contracted. All the partners up here are Title VIII immigration designated officers. So every federal agency has a Title VIII authority. So these are federal law enforcement special agents and officers from all over the DHS, DOJ. Like I said, it's a whole of government approach. These aren't any contract individuals. But you can see what the numbers Like I said, we ran an operation before up here, and while they were on targeted operations for criminal aliens that were released, other ones were being released at the same time. 24 hours a day, criminal aliens are being released all over Massachusetts. The only way to account and take these other individuals back into custody was to go ahead and partner with our other DHS partners that are here and DOJ partners to ensure that we have the proper manpower to respond whenever someone's released from custody.
Now, on that point, on that same.
One question.
On that same point.
Can you guys offer a few more specifics on the charges? Are you counting illegal reentry as among those 709 people as a significant charges versus how many were convicted and violent versus non-violent crimes? These people?
Yes, those include people who had been previously deported, were found back in the Commonwealth, and have been charged again with illegal reentry.
So how many were charged with something violent?
I don't have that number, but I can tell you, for example, on May 7th, I believe, ICE took a man into custody who had been removed from the country 5 previous times. He had been arrested 9 times on serious criminal charges, including assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, indecent assault and battery on a person, kidnapping, unarmed robbery, threatening, and intimidation, and he had a conviction for an OUI. Another man who was arrested in Worcester had been deported 4 previous times. He came back into this country, had 3 open OUI charges. Each time he was arrested for OUI, he was released without notifying ICE so that they could go and pick him up safely and securely and put him back in deportation. It was only after he violated one of the terms of his release for that 3rd OUI that ICE was notified and the detainer was allowed to be executed.
Wouldn't it be breaking the state?
Thank you very much. That's all the time we have. I'm sorry.
He was being charged, he was being held on violations of his release.
Why do the agents wear masks?
Why do they wear masks?